Welcome everyone, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have a union read for you quickly first, and then I have the Divine Masculine Twin Flame read for you in front of you. I just did a short meditation to see what was coming up, since there's been some very difficult energies processing through my body anyway, over the past 3 days or so. So when I meditated, I first was seeing an East Indian man looking off into the distance. And then I was seeing a whole bunch of different jeweled crowns and boxes, very much the deep jewels of India, you know, those deep jeweled colors. And then I was getting, from that, I was getting the East Indies, and the jewel of the Nile came up, as well as a crocodile's mouth wide open, which was interesting because I just did that now. And besides the fact that alligators are coming up because I'm going to Florida this month, a lot of stuff came up in the read referencing Russia and Red Russia, some of the wounds coming up from those times, and communistic countries, which then come up again here, which was totally separate from this. So when I looked up East Indies and the jewel of the Nile to see if there was an association between them, what I was getting was Cecil Malone came up, and he was in command of the East Indies and Egypt Seaplane Squadron, for which he was awarded the 4th class of the Order of the Nile. He was appointed Plans Division of Admiralty in 1918, and then was the first British air attaché at the Embassy of the United Kingdom and Paris. So he was born September 7th, 1890 to February 25th, 1965. He was a British politician and pioneer naval aviator who served as UK's first communist member of parliament, okay? And during the read, Red Russia was coming up. So they came up in two totally different ways, and this is how Spirit was bringing them together, which I thought was so cool. So let's start from the beginning here. And so these are some of the very uncomfortable energies that we may be processing through. I told you a couple days ago I'd gone up to New Hope, which is a place nearby me. And there's definitely some energies I brought home from there to process. That's kind of where it started, this 3 days of processing. The union read is here. So here's a picture of the union read before I start the other one, which is really beautiful. You see the lovers are there, the 2 of Cups, as well as the King of Cups right in the middle of the read, and the 4 of Wands below the King of Cups. So some really beautiful energies. And the last card, the summary, was the 3 of Pentacles, or the Trinity card at the end there, for me, which is that card of co-creation of the twins. So it's very much that energy of making our way together into co-creation. So that union read was done at 8:55 this morning. And there's just there's stress energy just from it being tax season, right? And whatever the planetary alignments are, Mercury retrograde, all that kind of thing aside. There's just dealing with the stresses of the real world again after not having done a lot of that kind of thing in a while. Even just planning trips, like, because I'm taking my kids to Miami the 23rd week, so I won't be doing too much that week for you guys. But just stress coming up around that. And again, being tested on patience when you're on phone calls. Something that I encountered was someone, you know, whose English wasn't that good. And I'd already discussed something the day before with a different representative, and then had to speak to this new person who had trouble just getting each letter of my name. So just being tested and being patient with people, as opposed to judging them like they should be this or they should be that kind of thing. But just again, the being tested all through this energy, just with tax season coming up and everything that's coming out. Are you going to stay in your peaceful place, or are you going to react and get triggered by these things? So the union here at 8:55, the underlying energy was the 2 of Cups. Going to the middle of the read was the King of Cups. And just quickly to reiterate how I do this. All right, so the 3 columns down are, the left column is the feminine, the middle is the bridge, and the right column is the masculine. All right, so the feminine bridging to the masculine. Columns down is the feminine, the bridge, and the masculine. Across is 3D 4D, and 5D. Coming in here is the feminine energy coming in, because the feminine's in, and then coming out is the masculine energy over here. The underlying energy of the Two of Cups, and then the summary card, which is that Three of Pentacles. So the Two Cups and the King of Cups being the center, bringing up the soulmate twin flame energy and the unconditional love together. The underlying divine feminine energy coming in was the Sun and the Hermit and the Nine of Wands, the wounded warrior, with the energy and exposure and sunshine of the Hermit, wounded warrior, in need of sun, perhaps vacation planning and such. And also the Hermit standing next to the wounded warrior, they were paralleling each other. The Hermit was holding up a light and the wounded warrior is holding up the flame, and they're both next to the sun, exposing everything. Okay, the 3D of the feminine going towards the masculine and the bridge between was the Knight of Wands, the Strength card, and the Six of Wands. The divine feminine passionately moving and getting busy, the divine masculine on a journey and leading the way, and bridged via strength, the Bengal white tiger breaking free of drama, transmuting the fires between them. So the Knight of Wands, and also in the 3D here is that we're seeing the Knight of Wands and the Journeyman, which are very similar energies. They're both wands and they're both on horses moving. Okay, so there's very similar energy between the feminine and the masculine here, bridged by that white Bengal tiger jumping out of the hoops of the flames from the feminine to the masculine with that fire sign bridge. The 4D, the Two of Swords, King of Cups, and the Nine of Swords, is the divine feminine in her knowing, floating in balance, and the divine masculine doing the suffering and silence thing, the purging thing, the stress of the, and then bridged via the King of Cups, or unconditional love. The feminine staying balanced within her thoughts while the masculine purges, so she's now transmuting for him to hold him up, staying in the more positive energies. And then in the 5D, we had the Four Cups, Four of Wands, and the Luna, or the Moon. The divine feminine looking for guidance, trying to connect, feeling a little bit off, in separation, 1 out of 4, or a quarter. How to bring this last cup together, the 4th quarter. The divine masculine in deep, dark tidal wave of full moon, waning down, calming down, learning not to be afraid of his deep, dark emotions, allowing them to now bubble up. So the feminine grounding while he runs deep sea diving, right? Going deep into his emotions, the 5D bridge between the beach and the ocean. Okay, so being grounded and being underwater, bridging the two, which is like the, you can often see the Rainbow Bridge as being the coastline, right? The bridge between the water life and the land life. It's the same type of energy coming up here, bridging the two. So the divine feminine being the 3D passionate movement, so getting busy, the 4D knowing and floating in her knowing, and then the 5D, so maybe the feminine like needing to really ground right now, because I was definitely feeling a bit ungrounded the past few days. The 4D knowing and floating, and the 5D giving it up to her guidance, her stars, and the need to ground. The bridge is the Strength card, the Eye of the Tiger, the thrill of the fight, right, in 3D. The divine feminine going towards the divine masculine with their eye on the prize, getting him on path with a strong nudge of unconditional love, and the home and or the union in 5D. The divine masculine bringing good news, victory, and leading the way. And in the 4D, dealing with the suffering and silence, the purging, the not sleeping well, up nights. And then the 5D of the Luna, the deep emotions of the moon rising in him. Going out with the masculine is the Five of Swords, the alchemy and the lovers. The frog prince, right? The frog changing into the prince, alchemizes the lovers with patience and balance. And then the summary card was the Three of Pentacles Trinity card, which is the place of co-creation, or the masculine's workplace, the feminine's workplace, or any place that you create, you co-create. So the Two of Cups towards the Three of Pentacles co-creation via unconditional love between them. And then my son came into the read at that point, which is always very helpful, giving me a masculine perspective. So I asked him what his perspective is when he looks at the cards. And he's very excited to go away to Miami at the end of the month. And then doing it upright, he was getting from the feminine coming into the read, that he saw freedom in that word, and I'm losing my voice as I'm saying that, which that's not what I was seeing there at all. In the sun, the hermit holds the light, and the wounded warrior holds the flame, as I said before, but I wasn't getting that until here. That even though there was the wounded warrior standing there, he was standing holding his flame, and the hermit was standing there holding the light. So they were each doing their own part in the game. All right, so the Four of Cups and the Luna, or the moon, made him feel free, allowing emotions to well up in the masculines. It's funny because he was seeing the one cup, the Four of Cups in this deck is out in the middle of the ocean with two rocks, right? So there's a feminine sitting on one bigger rock, safe from the water, but still on a rock out in the middle of the ocean with three cups. And there's a confirmation there. And then the other little rock, which is a little bit in front of her, but there's a lot of rough ocean water between them, is just the one cup on this tiny rock. So what's the perspective? Did these rocks become submerged underwater, or are they now emerging from the deep water, like Atlantis or Lemuria having disappeared, now showing themselves again, which that was coming up as well in the read today for me, that there may be some sightings now of new land resurfacing from the old, like so Lemuria and Atlantis. So he called the one cup that was on the tiny little rock exposed in the ocean, instead of a chalice, he said jester, which is so perfect, as opposed to chalice, calling the Holy Grail foolish, or the fool. The divine feminine grounding on a rock in the middle of the divine masculine sea that he's going through right now, as reflected in the moon in his 5D. He, the jester, apart from her, slowly rising from the sea, out of the deep depths of his emotions. The divine masculine going out, he was seeing as a lot of juggling, and that we'd be seen as the little ones, as the different ones when we go away, and that we'll have a great time with that lover energy, just having a lot of fun together. The Two of Cups to the Three of Pentacles. The Two of Cups meaning things get good when we return, going to the Bermuda Triangle in the Keys, because we are going to be going down to the Keys at one point, to kind of fulfill the triangle. The Three of Pentacles Trinity, sorting it out for when we get back. And the sun then also has an image of Pegasus in it, the winged horse, and the Bengal tiger both coming up, both looking in the same direction, forward. The divine feminine puts one of four, again, 1/4, or the 0.25 parts, the fourth quarter, out there to see what happens as the land is underwater, or the water is under the land, right? So is the land going underwater, or is the land now emerging from the sea? Lemuria returns, literally, which is that's the message I was getting. The Two of Cups, unconditional love and union of the lovers at Trinity, which is that place of co-creation in the SIRIAN Starseed deck. And the numbers that I was getting from this union read, I was getting 11, 11, 22, and 44, which I never get the numbers that line up like that. That was pretty cool. So very much about 11, 11, the 22 of the Fool, and the 44 of the grounding and integrating the offer of love, the mastering of receiving love. So getting into the read in front of you, the Divine Masculine Twin Flame read, and again, this is a general read for the Divine Masculines, but also then represents the masculine within the feminine as well. The SIRIAN Starseed deck was cut at 10:17, and the read was finished at 10:37, which is the star, and then the 37 of the King of Cups, unconditional love, and of course the 10 is the Wheel of Fortune. So for the Divine Masculine here, and again, if it doesn't resonate with you, don't make it fit. This is a 7-deck read, so there's a lot of information here for a lot of different people, okay? So the main deck is the SIRIAN Starseed deck, but we have the Tarot Sexual Magic, we have the Rider-Waite mini deck, we have the Gilded Tarot, as well as the Universal Golden Tarot, the Numerology deck, Romance Angels, and I think I get everything. The Tarot Sexual Magic I said already, yeah. So, you know, don't try to force everything to fit. This is about hearing the codes, because not everything is literal, and that's the way it's supposed to come through. It's your message because each of you are supposed to translate things into your own way. Your own codes come through to bring through other information that I'm not bringing through. Okay, so the major arcana for this read, we had Starseed and Indigo. Starseed being the Fool, and Indigo is the Magician in this deck. Before the read also came up Justice, the Hanging Man, and the Higher Self. We had 1 wand, 2 pentacles, 2 swords, and 4 cups. So very much about the emotions and the heart with the 4 cups. But we also have all the other elements represented with the swords and the pentacles and the wand. The least of the wands, which is interesting that there's the least of the wand movement, yet I'm feeling all of this wand energy today, a lot of frustration welling up. The code line was all about communication, nature, and teaching and learning. And there were no numbers on the code line at all. But from the read, we had 777s straight forward, so that was really powerful. And then we also had 888s. So 78 is the end of the tarot. It's the 10 of Pentacles. It's that dream family, right? So 777s and 888s, mostly the 777s was more important. And then also double 5s, which is the Truth, the Ace of Swords, and less so double 2s of the Fool, the 22. Some other numbers that came up were 25, which is the Quarter that I keep saying, the 1 out of 4, and it's also the Knight of Wands, which the feminine was coming up as, and the 57 of the 3 of Swords, the 78, like I said, and then also the number 12 of the Hangman of Wisdom, 56 of the 2 of Swords, floating in your knowing, the 67 of the Knight of Pentacles, the Loyal Servant, and then the 89, which is the reflection of the human temperature of 98, right? Being cold or being too hot. Instead of being polarized, bringing it together to the human temperature. So regarding communication, nature, teaching, and learning, the code line was very simple. It just said I, EIG, which is for me is symbolic of the bridge because it's the Euro-India Gateway. It's saying I, bridge, I, starseed, and then the divine feminine. So that has to do with the bridge between the masculine and feminine. I just did a union read for you. It's exactly how that's set up. There's a bridge in the middle with an I on either side, the feminine and the masculine, as the starseed Fool, and the divine feminine is what was coming up here. That if you just say I bridge, and there's not the I on the other side, the I bridge is tar seed or quicksand, renders you powerless to communication naturally and teaching and learning. So it's like a block. When you only say you're bridging, when you're both bridging simultaneously, one does not have control over the other, but both bridge, and that is the dance, the back and forth between you. Very important there. You're not, neither one of you is saving one from the other. It's about you supporting each other in the dance. Like when one is down, the other supports them to pull them back up again, and vice versa. That's how the dance begins. We start with the 7 of Wands upright. The Justice card below it is reversed, as well as the 8 of Cups. So here's the 7 of Flames, the 7 of Wands, then Justice, the 8 of Cups, and then the Hangman and the High Priestess, or the Higher Self in this deck. Standing up for self after injustice and walking away, hanging out to be wise and find a new perspective with the secret out or a need to use their intuition. The King of Wands is reversed, exhausted and surrendering to coming together in joy, walking away to find peace in hanging out together or just being still. The King of Wands reversed, leaving, tired or angry or both, surrendering to peace or kids going back and forth and finding peace alone when they've gone, in surrender, happy to just hang out and be merry, or a positive group or family there to support, holding you up while you are still in order to allow things to come in and through. The 10 of Pentacles, family, business, or legacy, with clarity now to make decisions, maybe suffering in silence, maybe dealing with a lot of stress, up at night without sleep, with headaches or crying, standing up for himself, or clearing up their mess. Inspired to expand, perform the sham fight, let the games begin. Okay, so whether this is the 10 of Pentacles family, the family feeling like they're in a prison and them going through the purging and suffering in silence, or just the masculine or the whole family, one person's definitely standing up to another group, and that was coming up through multiple locations in this read, and a lot of conflict fighting games or competitions as well. So West Side Story comes up here, East versus West, And now we have, with Russia, the US versus USSR comes up, and Russia now. And the dolphins versus the angels came up, with the East and the West. Inspired to a group cleanup, space boots and red eyes, standing on top of the world, about to connect their wand into one already in play, like putting your sword back in its case or its cover, connecting the divine masculine to their divine feminine. But the divine masculine in, or a karmic in chaos, in trying to magnetize him from the 4D back into the 3D drama by getting him to connect his wand with hers. But the Page of Wands is running interference for the home team advantage. The child connects to the karmic so the divine masculine can break away, his wingman or winged child taking a hit for the team. Or reptilian child wants her, the karmic, all to themselves, or 3 cheering on 2 in a one-on-one competition or demonstration, or 2 at the game on different levels, the divine masculine in the nosebleed section, while others are below, while the child has like premier seating in order to watch this game or competition. Or the divine masculine is doing second and third jobs on the side, so a child can continue competing in the sport that they love, or letting child off the hook by offering to clean up for them their chores at 1121, which is justice and the world, completion. Learning to stand up to others without engaging and fighting. So this could be the child learning from the divine masculine, or the divine masculine refereeing or literally judging or coaching or doing that kind of work on the side. At 1122, which is justice and the fool, grieving loss, regret, guilt, and shame, the Page of Wands inspired to offer their time, money, and or energy, or a new life, now with more clarity, having received new information. A teardrop keyhole, Bermuda and hedge cut, familiar property along a path, and can see the mountains through the hole in the hedges. A view to a kill, how mountains grew from nothingness, right? Where there were no mountains before, now there is, right? So growing mountains out of molehills, and I started sweating at that time. It was 1126, which is justice and that Page of Wands again. Page of Wands is very much that inspired teenager, right? Very physically oriented. So a hand off of the gold coin to walk like an Egyptian. 40 days and 40 nights in the desert with pyramids, with 3 pyramids, needing head-to-toe coverage to protect from the sun's ray, too strong in those days. Sandstorms and dust in the wind, quicksand, which came out quicksand, was coming up here. So quicksand and the quickening. Bonnie in the desert alone for 4 years, needing to free self. And beneath that was past life relationship. Past life relationships. So freeing the masculine here, freeing himself from past life of karma. Like whatever he's been, the contract that he's been, living right now with his karmic family, it's coming up as him needing to free himself from that contract that he's no longer a part of. And Bonnie in the desert for 4 years was coming up from spiritual acceleration, because Bonnie spent 4 years in the desert for 4 years. This was also paralleling Jesus, and paralyzing was also coming up, so somebody might have issues with being paralyzed. But the 40 days and 40 nights of Jesus in the desert, but also paralleling that to just going back to Akashic records of Atlantis and Egypt, and the Page of Wands representing the masculine as that child, like the little drummer boy walking across the desert with the 3 wise men, needing to free self from their past life karma, and time to give to yourself, and don't fence me in. This is where the masculine is supposed to be speaking from. Preserving the gold coin, a coming out, or presenting the gold coin, a coming out for him, so to speak, no longer hiding a spark under a bushel by keeping it to himself. Death is reversed, but also out and being seen, removing the dark mother energy from his energy. No big love at workplace, or only third-party big love at work, or just issues at work getting along, or financial issues, and a secret is out, and key codes given, or Dark Priestess without intuition or is pretending to be psychic, or Scorpio and Pisces females are in cahoots at work and none of it good. Dead tired, no more being forced to dress up, no more bows without arrows, loops without hooks, missing sets of keys, exposed logs, herbs in a pot or cauldron, so no more of this, no more suspicion. But then also all three water signs came up right here. The Scorpio and the Pisces being negative energies, they're all actually reversed. But then the Cancer comes up too. The Cancer energy reversed, but comes after the reunion. The Pisces and the Scorpio negative energies seem to be setting this up, this reunion, but the reunion being with perhaps Cancer reversed, trying to set the masculine up to hook him back in again to the karmic situation. That's what it seems like. So now a reunion with a positive person at the new moon before dawn, scratching an itch, an egg and dessert, or the Dark Priestess deceived you and gave you an infection, out with another couple or minding your own business and got dragged into swingers situation or wife swapping or an orgy in the mountains. Dark Priestess holding the cat close to the glass ceiling like a conduit to hear with. She with bells on her ankles wherever she goes, black and white cat as to not arouse any suspicion, presenting herself as dessert along with a spell casting, or hiding the keys so he can't escape her advances. Dark deception here to force reunion to happen. Tie up the mountains on a winter trip, pulling the divine masculine into something illegal or immoral that she or they can use as bribery to keep him under their control so he can't leave. He wouldn't want it to get out there to mess with his reputation. So whatever they know he would never tell, they make him get involved with, so then he can't leave, because otherwise then the secret would come out. 11, this has come up many times over the past few years, so this is coming up again. So these are wounding that needs to be cleared from the past as well. 11 is the Justice, and 53 is the Knight of Swords, the rushing in with the truth, and the catapult energy as well. Synchronicities come up here for the masculine, and beneath that is rebirth. So he's rebirthing, which is the 16 of the Tower energy, into synchronicities and following his guidance. At 11:53, the Knight of Pentacles reversed, stubborn, on strike, disabled, or unable to function, weak, or Leo that's out of control, or in ego death, or the Leo or ego is out of control, but the devil is present with the Page of Swords, up to something, right? This is the one with a little bit of impish energy. Or a Capricorn upright, or Leo is reversed, their kids, or the divine masculine and the Page of Swords are upright, and the Leo is reversed and the Knight of Pentacles reversed are the weak links in the family or group. Or children are devilish and out of control, standing up and fighting for their rights. Bad memories of the past or childhood or difficult kids, or the past now returning with a vengeance, and the cat spying. And remember, cat was coming up as the man, not the woman. So the past returned with a vengeance. So someone may have jealousy coming up here with a cat spying, which can be a man spying, and fighting with 2 butterflies and 2 rats watching on the log or watching around the logs. Rats getting in there while others are distracted and fighting, wrecking the flower beds, 1 rat caught in the grass. Or a raid of someone's property illegally growing weed, or rats sniffing it out, and a big fight or commotion. Jealousy, unhappy kids, and a big fight, game, or competition on or into grass. Capricorn, impish devil, Leo, jealous and stubborn, or with out of control 2 kids, jealous and stubborn, and it's just not working. They're not working. A lot of fighting, competition, battle, and games, or sports playoffs, all with conflict and uneasy feelings. Gaining clarity with new information in, or a tiebreaker, deception or new moon coming, and the delta dawn, which is that moment before the sun comes up. What's that flower you have on? Synchronicities and rebirth. In the recent past is the 8 of Pentacles reversed with aggression and defensiveness, not working at work, impatient, losing tempers, rejection, vulnerabilities, to get the truth of the King of Swords, to get to his truth. Student or opportunity to learn, confess and drop burdens and responsibilities, or drop hard labor and overtime, all that's not working, and the Queen of Wands looking the other way, as always in this read. Coming together with friends, group, celebration, or cooking something up. The King of Cups reversed is emotionally detached, lacking faith, or fell on face from grace into failure, feeling a failure, impatient and vulnerable, or the King of Swords is in his truth, and a spoiled child is losing their temper, always needy for attention, or another child is a good student now but wants to quit everything in order to learn something new, or the King of Swords is having to let go of what's not working between him and the Queen of Wands. The foundation is the indigo upright, proposing some new manifestation. The Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles merge. This is two families merged, taking forever to end. Emotional fulfilling synchronicities, choices, or activities, and the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or legacy, is always fighting or competing for the Empress, who's resisting change that needs to happen. The Montagues and the Capulets battle for heaven in their eyes for ages, right? This is a big wound over the ages, due to the dark mother influences, the feminine patriarchal control, or in other words, women in control acting like a man at 12:18, which is the Hangman and the Moon. And the masculine's hanging out, processing those deep ocean lunar energies. So at 12:19, which is then the Sun, and exposing all this, while hanging out, being wise, and seeing new perspectives, no one needs to control anyone else, only your own ego. And this is where I'd written down US versus USSR coming up. Little magician proposes something new and magical. And remember, the Magi were the three wise men that just came up with the little drummer boy. But a little Magi, which can be that little drummer boy, proposes something new and magical, offering clarity to a situation and standing up for themselves in a positive way. The Five of Pentacles reversed, recovering from exile, destruction, destitution, injury, and or illness, expressing feelings, sharing energy, fast-paced communication and travel, perhaps, between the Queen of Wands and deception. The Hermit holds light on, and negative self-talk, spying, lying, and immature thoughts and communications, and or mental disabilities. And players falling short, or kids acting up with their world upside down in a divorce or breaking contract, or want to believe something different from what their parents believe, their religion, their family, or establishment. They want to believe something different than what is required of them. Emotionally fulfilled hermit with light exposing deceptions of self, and the reset before dawn or light, the recovery period when we sleep at night to take us home to see the light. Challenged by the Starseed reversed, which is like the Fool reversed. Death be not proud when you fall from grace. The Scrooge letting go to repair or make upgrades, changes. Post-war PTSD and looting going on, as well as strategizing detox of chaos, ending the pain, a painful end, and betrayal, back issues, especially lower back and butt today, allowing self to fall in order to manifest big time. To fall, in other words, in order to fall into magic and then magically become the King of Pentacles, emotionally fulfilled hermit with light. A bold move behind the red curtain, so here comes Russia, to synchronicities, choices, options, and activities, whittling down to one, but kept quiet, a Russian thing, in another world of depression and unable to dream, programming, emotional detachment, a destiny of weakness to do what they're told. Now the Taurus reversed, divorce or breaking contract, or outside the box, out of control of the patriarchy, so them losing control of the individual, grieving loss, regret, guilt, and shame of the war widow, the Queen of Swords reversed, deeply grieving, negative self-talk, the pain and suffering of their wounding together as the Queen of Swords reversed and the King of Swords upright. Now is the Seven of Swords upright, passing downloads. Presently, the Queen of Swords reversed, dealing with hitting the ground running, being chased by downloads or hounded. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. So that comes up here. The Queen of Wands with the truth of overexposure, in need of sunshine, ready to rumble, stubborn and resistant kids, or in dealing with her past. Gators, perhaps, and being chased down by one. Nightmares of Willard and James Bond, hopping on alligators and Jaws, To Russia with Love, Palm Beach Bond Girls, Casino Royale, The Spy Who Loved Me, and Live and Let Die. At 12:58, The Hangman and the Spy, right? The Spy, the 58, is the Four of Swords, the connection in the 5D of the feminine and the masculine who can translate information without anyone knowing. So at 1 o'clock here, we have the Magician with 2 zeros, a lot of source energy backing it up. The Man in the Golden Gun and Goldfinger, For Your Eyes Only. Octopussy, which is literally the number 8, the dance, and the cat of the man, right, the cool cat. Dr. No, Moonraker, Quantum of Solace, Die Another Day, and Skyfall. The World Is Not Enough, A License to Kill, But Tomorrow Never Dies, and A View to a Kill, with Golden Eye. Diamonds Are Forever, Thunderball, From Her Majesty's Secret Service. At 1:03 is the Magician and the Empress, right? Bond has to go back to the mother lode, right? M for Mary Magdalene, but also M. Palms are not an option, and I was just getting Psalms. So Psalms also, I don't know what category it might be. It was at the time 1:03. So if any of you want to look up something in Psalms, that would be great if you want to put it below. But palms are not an option. The Emperor reversed, no longer with trophy. No options, but the King of Pentacles superhero in a harsh split, dealing with lies, needing clarity and cutting through the BS. Rehab, hospitalization, and the King of Wands reversed without affections of the Queen of Cups upright. They're Leo or ego, weak and breaking patterns or tripped up or caved into splurging for a trip. Unfair to the Emperor reversed lover in another world, losing control with the messenger of truth rushing in without option as the Queen of Pentacles to the King of Pentacles union, announcing a split and issues at work of the King of Wands reversed without options, destined to become weak in ego death, and the Queen of Cups nurturing him spiritually, along with the Page of Pentacles child, curious about their abilities. The Taurus reverse, grieving and lashing out, but soon for the masculine is the Nine of Cups upright, finding happiness with himself. But there's jealousy, insincerity, or no love in a detox of chaos, and offered big love, willing to stand up for him. Connecting in 5D, powerless and dependent, and letting go to fix things up a bit. The Page of Cups is reversed, rejected, vulnerable, shy, or spoiled. And the Knight of Cups reversed, rejected, jealous, insincere, and refusing to give or receive love. Kids learning to let go and meditate after getting yelled at, or powerless to connection in the 5D, and healing to let go of trying to control children, or patchwork as opposed to shadow work, allowing things to unfold. The masculine sees himself as the Five of Cups, grieving. He can't look up at the Queen of Cups or the Two of Cups in front of him. Under the radar, suffering in silence and over-emotional, perhaps not sleeping well and in need of attention, feeling a failure. Sunshine kids, full exposure to destiny of hostage or imprisonment. Reconciliation comes up, and pay attention to the red flags, which has to do with signs and synchronicities. So follow your signs and synchronicities, and then very soon. All right, so reconciliation, pay attention to your guidance, and very soon. Around the masculine, or how he's seen, is the Two of Cups upright. And the Queen of Cups soul connection, recovering from exile, with the secret out, starting over in love, in the aftermath of sudden events, shocks, surprises, and epiphanies. The secret out about the Queen of Cups, or High Priestess reversed, being the reflection of the Queen of Cups. Starting over, no longer bored, with 2 cups and a connection, and the fall over, recovering, almost done. Time to merge into one. The masculine is to clear blocks regarding the Seven of Cups, which in this deck is taking steps to yourself, ascending. Frustration, lies, splits, and depression, and following his synchronicities in order to get out of there. At 1:20, the Magician and Judgment. So get out of a place that judges you. Then we turn the page at 1:21, which is the Magician and the World, in completing of the cycle and getting out in the world, teaching and learning, nature and communication. But even more than that for the masculine today is individuality, being his authentic self. Sunshine, energy, and full exposure of the Queen of Wands, or Leo, the King of Swords in ego death, and settling out with the Emperor reversed, out of control, perhaps abusing his power, or weak in ego death, or losing his position. Leo upright and reversed, but Aries and Taurus both reversed here. The King of Swords with the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Wands both up. They're all upright, all three. Around him in a divorce or break, grieving the Queen of Swords reversed, and the King of Swords upright with an opportunity, or a student or his child with anxiety or prison, or a prison of arrogance, or happy finding his true self and what he loves to do and discover, him and or his child, and that can be his inner child as well. The King of Swords and Page of Pentacles here, the prison of their new life and moving to peace together, perhaps a dolphin ride. The King of Swords with the Queen of Cups, Taurus reversed, grieving, Queen of Swords reversed, and the Queen of Wands and Page of Pentacles upright, feeling trapped or imprisoned, anxious, or with a hostage or their hands tied, as the diamond in the rough is exposed to full light and peace. And again, this is an unearthing of ground, so this could be, again, a landmass that becomes exposed in the sea once again, from the woods to the ocean. After exposed to full light and peace, from the woods to the ocean, and dolphin energy of peace and sounds. So sounds, the music of the spheres coming up here. Standing up, indigo proposal, grieving loss and regret of the Two of Cups, the partners, the soulmates. Seeing eye to eye, right? That deep bond. Overworking, not working, and recovering from exile, destitution, injury, or illness. Challenged by foolishness or foolish behavior, and happy with self and taking steps, following guidance and downloads. The King of Swords upright in his truth. Learning or being the student of prison or prisoner of new life and peace. Someone who's not used to that, not, like after the war, people sometimes can't find peace because their body's still so used to being in chaos. Standing up to others, injustice of leaving and hanging out with a secret out, or with one with no intuition, hanging out with them, is not working. There's only conflict. The indigo proposes to get over abandonment issues and take a risk passing downloads, but challenged by allowing the fall, grieving happiness alone as the King of Swords in his truth, and the Two of Cups taking steps to heaven, ascending to the King of Swords' true self with fears of a new life, being student again, and traveling to peace, not sure what it's going to be like there. Okay, so that is the read. So a lot of that has to do with wounds that are coming up from past lives as well. So take it as it comes to you. I am going to pull you a few oracle cards. It was just 4224. So that's a good break here from where the read stops and the oracles begin. 4224, which is the Two of Cups and the Queen of Wands. And let's see where we start. Let me pull you a card. Do you want a Scooby-Doo card? I have this new deck too. This is a shiny Rider Waite, right? See, it has this rainbow sparkle, so it's kind of hard to see in the dark, so I don't know how useful it would be for this, but let me just pull you a card from here to summarize. Everybody take a deep breath, and let's, for everybody, for the best and highest good of all those concerned, what do we need to know, what do we need to learn? And let's clear all negative energies across all dimensions of time, space, matter, and realities for the highest good of all those concerned, and fill that empty space with only beautiful divine love and diamond crystalline light. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so let's just shuffle and see what you guys got here. What is the purpose of this read? What is a summary of the energy that they need to know, that we need to know? All right, these all came out together in a group, so I'll show them all to you. We have the Queen of Wands there, sparkling in rainbows. Isn't that cool? All right, the Knight of Cups. They're both upright. We have the Four of Pentacles, holding on loosely, grounding, integrating. The Queen of Wands, and then the Knight of Cups going forward to offer love. And there's the Page of Cups still reversed, feeling rejected, or this could be, a younger sibling who's having trouble acclimating. And then the Queen of Swords reversed. So here's the Knight of Cups walking away from the Queen of Wands energy to, and these could be two kids as well, or it can just represent the part of the masculine or feminine that feels rejected as well. Or this could be the Queen of Wands with two kids wanting to hold on to their stuff, approaching the Queen of Swords, speaking her truth. bottom of the deck ends up being the journeyman. So that's at the bottom of the deck. All right, so let's see where we go from there. All right, I'm going to pull you a Scooby-Doo card. And this is just, you know, for fun. I'm going to actually leave, there's a Joker card in here too. So I'm going to leave that in there. Let's see what comes up for you guys. All right, there we go. Number 10, the Wheel of Fortune. And he looks like he's doing the happy dance. He's hula hooping. So he's definitely playing. He's having a good time. Oh, that's funny because the next one is the hula hoop upside down. All right. So 1 minute he's up, 1 minute he's down. All right. 1 minute he knows how to do it, and the minute he knows how to lose it. Okay. So that's the exact reflection. Very cool that that came up. And they're both the dark ones. And it's funny because then the next two of the same ones come up in the red. So you got all four of the hula hoops came up together. So hula hooping and then reflecting, you know, but they were both one up, one down, like this perfectly balanced. And there's your 4 quarters, 10, 10, 10, 10. How cool is that? And then that adds up to the 40, which we talked about in the read, the 40 days and 40 nights. And that's the Page of Cups, having a tough time of it. Because the Page of Cups was the one that's reversed in the read and just came out reversed for you guys too. The Knight of Cups was doing okay. In the read, the Knight of Cups is reversed too, but now the Knight of Cups is upright. It's the Page of Cups that's struggling more. All right, so let's go to the animal deck. We have a lot of animals coming up today. We have the Frog Prince coming up. We have the alligators and the dolphins, and there's definitely a few more things coming up. Let's see what comes up with the deck. This is the Animal Tarot. Okay. All right, that came right up. The cute little raccoons in the cave, they're hiding. They're scared to come out. And there's a butterfly saying, come with me. Renewal, number 20 is judgment. The butterfly's not going to judge them, but they feel like they're going to be judged. It's time to get clarity about your life purpose and make changes so that you're on the path most divinely suited to you. Forgive what has been without judgment and fearlessly embrace what's to come. Okay? So they're scared. The butterfly wants them to come and see. It's okay, but they're not sure they can trust. And you notice the raccoons, they'll have masks on. All right, so who are the 3 with masks on? Hiding and wanting to come out. And that could definitely be 2 parents and a child, or 1 parent and 2 children. But either way, it's 3 with the butterfly doesn't match them. So can they trust them? It's the needing to trust, but this is the renewal. It's time for them to come out. And this card also want to come out. They're both purple, which is the 4 of the Emperor, and the mouse and the rats came up in the read. The deer mouse is structure and organization are important right now. Don't be afraid to take on a leadership role as you have much wisdom to offer. Okay, just like the butterfly is leading the way. Just because you're a little cute mouse doesn't mean you can't be a leader too. I think they have flowers. They're ready for their marital ceremony there. Or maybe the mouse wants to give flowers to the butterfly. See? There's another butterfly here. But maybe that's not the butterfly they're interested in. They're interested in this butterfly over here. Oh, and this looks like Cheerios or Fruit Loops over here. So I don't know if that means anything to anyone, but we have whatchamacallit, I'm blanking out on what nut that is, but blueberries, hazelnuts, right? So hazelnuts, blueberries, and Cheerios or Fruit Loops. And then oh, there we go. And the Prince of Spring wants to come up. There's the dolphin. Passionate, charismatic, confident, and restless. He just knocked the other card. The raccoons are off on the floor now. All right, an opportunity arises that needs your attention right away. Moving quickly is important, yet there's nothing you can't handle if you follow your inner guidance. So there's the dolphin, and when we go to Miami, we're going to go on a dolphin swim. So where we're doing it, they literally do the dolphin push, where they push you by your feet. There's 2 dolphins with their nose, and the other one you can hold on to their fin. But definitely, this is so funny, because the dolphin just kicked the raccoons out of here. Here's the mouse and the dolphin together, pushing these 3 away, okay, as the dolphin came in. And then the bottom of the deck is the world, the 21, completion. And there's Lassie, right, the collie in graduation here. With this is like the Caesar's crown. So somebody may be graduating, coming into their authenticity. The Shetland sheepdog, congratulations on successfully accomplishing what you set out to do. You've made it through the challenges, incorporated the lessons that life offered you with grace and courage. So congratulations. That's the world, the underlying energy. So this is like the renewal of spring now. Now you've done this completion work. These 2 come up to say come out, but as soon as they come out, then they go to do something else, and then this one comes in with the mouse. Okay. And their eyes are so similar. They're just really kind, you know, both of them. I don't know if you can see very well, but see. Right? They both have those sweet, kind eyes. But one's more physically aggressive than the other. And this one's holding the flowers, so you know which one that is. All right, we'll see. Well, you don't necessarily know, actually. All right, let's see. Now we have Nature's Whispers. Nature's Whispers. All right, let's see what comes up here for you guys. Oh, that was a whole bunch. All right, what is our message? I'll just read. Oh, that one to come out. That just broke off. I was just getting Tom Brokaw. Make a decision, number 11. Justice. Make a decision. And this is like that break between, oh, perfect. Oh, come on. How you can't do this. You can't make this up. Right? The beach and the ocean. Remember I just described that? Like the division line of the beach coming to the ocean. That's exactly what's coming up here. And this looks like the beach and the ocean, except it has to do with the skies on either side. And the pyramids are down here too. Make a decision. The one side is very native. Like it could even be like Lemurian versus Atlantean. I mean, there's native energies on both sides, but it's more jungle on the right and more Native American type energies, but Egypt is on that side, so that's Atlantean. It's like it's not really Lemurian energy, but it can be, but I'm not really getting this as Lemurian. It can be, I suppose. Because Lemurians became the Native Americans, and then here's the Egyptian energies on this side, so it can be. And again, remember the East and the West came up, the angels versus the dolphins came up in the read. But this is very much jungle-like, and this is more about the desert. And kind of merging those two opposing views. The underlying energy is assurance, which really, this is one of the cards, I haven't used this one yet. Assurance is 14, and this is in the dark because there's not a lot of color there, just greens and browns and whites basically, right? It's the merging of the different aspects of something. And needing assurance from the family tree, right? Even if it's dark. It's like, why do you want to go back to a dark family tree? Because it's like, you know, you're banky, you need assurance. Even though there's no light there. Why are you getting assurance instead of using your own internal guidance system, which has all light? Why go back to a dark system or something that's antiquated, that's no longer useful? That's the underlying energy. So coming from this to this, come out wherever you are. This is like you're coming out, which came up in the read as the masculine, all the bright colors that you are. And then we have the energy deck. I'm getting a little bit sweaty here. When I get the masculine energy coming through, I get really hot. All right, so from the energy deck, what do you want to tell us? 53, Magician in the Mirror. Okay, and that was very significant in the read. The underlying energy right here is the indigo, which is the child magician, and here is the old man magician. So reflecting your inner self and your outer self. 53 is the messenger of truth, the old wise man, Merlin. But recognizing the magician within you no matter what your age. I have number 5 coming out here too, attachment. So this is, again, the dark card coming out, you know, telling you to remove the mask. Why do you want to keep yourself chained to this dark energy, to this shadow energy with a little bit of moss growing, and that's about it. But allowing yourself to remove the mask to show all your colors. And these came out like this. It's like the old man and this is like the old man magician of the masculine, right? How they're seeing themselves, and the feminine hostage, right, of the mask. 5 is the Hierophant energy of commitment to self, and 53 being the messenger of truth, the needing to speak up. Okay? So the feminine needs to make commitment to herself more strongly, the masculine needs to speak up more strongly in his truth. No matter how old he is, he can be anything he wants to be. See the colors that want to come out back here and the sparkles, but he's keeping himself muted. The underlying energy here is the 6th chakra, the 3rd eye, Archangel Metatron. Metatron for me is always overseeing the masculines. Number 40 is the Page of Cups. Again, coming up, the 40 days and 40 nights and the Page of Cups. The underlying energy of Metatron. And merging the different aspects. That merge is coming up over and over again here, so that's very important, of merging the 2 aspects together. So from the Kipper deck, let's see, we have, and there is a Joker on the Kipper deck. So the Fool keeps coming through. The Fool was reversed here today, allowing the fall. You never know what will happen when you allow the fall. To allow yourself to not be perfect. Allow the merge of the official person of high honor and a courtship. Sorry, let me make that a little bit clearer for you. Okay, so official person of high honor, and there could be a 3 or 6 gun salute there. And there's 3, 6, 9. There's 3 at each station. So there's 3, 6, 9, which is a 3D, 4D, 5D. And the courtship, so this is referencing my read, my union read with the 3D, 4D, and 5D. And the official person coming in for courtship and change. And there's that empty house as well. So there's the vehicle, there's the place to live, there's the courtship and making it official of high honor. Whew, and I'm sweating. There may have been a passing of a mother. The underlying energy is the mature man. After that, this was the mature woman. So there may have been a passing. The underlying energy is the mature man and a marriage and a courthouse. So this was the underlying energy. So that might have been, it can be going through a divorce situation as well, or parents who may have broken up, or someone may have passed away, like I said, and just dealing with courthouse, or, you know, just legal documents, that kind of stuff. That was the underlying energy there. Just one more, the Metatron deck. Since Metatron came up, we'll do the Metatron deck, and that'll be it. All right, as it's 58. All right, Metatron, what do you want to tell us? All right, we have ancestors, appreciation and healing. So show appreciation for your ancestors, all the lineage that's come before you and is actually in your DNA that we're transmuting right now. The 34 of the 8 of Wands is that fast or quick-paced communication or travel back and forth, going back and forth to see each other, or worrying about other people. You don't need to worry about anything. Clarity is the 15, go within. When you do worry about family who may be away or maybe in uncomfortable situations or possibly dangerous situations, go within. The best way that you can help them is raise your own vibration and connect with them that way. And then this card also wants to be seen, and they're all 3 very different colors. The yellow of joy and happiness, to allow this energy to shine out, to connect with others. Appreciation, healing of the 34, back and forth. The 15 of the shadow side, transmute by going within. And then the yellow of joy and happiness. All right, so this is really the higher energies, and then going into your connecting verbally with your higher self, and then the solar plexus of having confidence in your joy and happiness. And then this one wants to sneak out too. Healing, pause to receive. So if you need a little extra help, then go get a healing hand. Go get some Reiki work from somebody else, a friend perhaps. Okay, 43. And this could be imagining this energy when you're in the shower too, right? To shower yourself with light. The 43 is the 3 of cups of joy and coming together. And pause, allowing yourself to receive from others as well. The underlying energy is that reflection card again, as above, so below. The 41 is love. As there is love above, so it is below, heaven and earth. And the pink is all about compassion. Having compassion for yourself and your reflection. You and your twin, not just one or the other. Okay, so I'm going to show you the cards. All right, so let's get a little clear here. The underlying energy with the 7 of flames, and you see the 2 of wands was the 5th card down there. I just wanted to show you that. The recent past is the 8 of crystals, or ace of pentacles, and then, I'm sorry, 8, not ace. Indigo is that underlying energy there, or the foundation. The central card is the 5 of crystals, 5 of pentacles, challenged by the starseed reversed. The other underlying energies here, like I said, there's a lot of conflict there. You see the fight card there, the fight card there, right? A lot of games, competitions, fights, whatever. And then the crowning position is that 7 of swords, which in this deck is much about passing on downloads and taking risk. Traveling across there, the 40 bridge to the 9 of cups or chalices, getting your wish. And the masculine seeing himself as the 5 of cups, grieving, loss, regret, guilt, shame. And then around him, or how he's seen, is the 2 of cups upright. And the blocks he needs to clear is the 7 of chalices, this taking the steps of ascension, to dream. Heaven in their eyes, to follow your synchronicities. We end up on the King of Swords, which is upright in its truth. Look at the colors of the gold and the green and the purple, the third eye and the heart, and the gold Christ energy. And then we have the 8 of Swords upright above him, so there's still some anxiety or prison there, with the Ace of Pentacles coming, which is upright, the new life. And there's the 6 of Swords was upright too, so beautiful new life and peace there at the end, but just not sure how to handle it if you've been living in chaos in a war zone. The underlying energy there, blues and purples there, with the throat and third eye coming up for the masculine and the underlying energy. And then moving more into the heart and the Christ energy. All right, so make sure you drink your water. Don't forget. I forget all the time. Make sure to get enough rest to get your reset, your joy, your nature. It's kind of rainy and dark out today. But either which way, you guys, take care of yourselves. Be gentle, allow, and rise and be loved. Bye.